Okay, I'm back in this corner here, just putting my hands in my drawers, and you've heard of panty snatchers, right? You know, those creeps that creep into your house and go to women's freaking drawers and start sniffing their panties and then run off with them. Well, like, seriously, man, that's, I think, what we're fucking dealing with here. A fucking panty snatcher. Like, seriously, this drawer's like half fucking empty. Like, this is stupid. Not that I had panties in there. I had nicer things in there. I'm surprised that bitch left shit in there. From what I can tell, there's a few things left in here, but half of it's fucking gone. More than half. More than half, people. Yeah, because it had nice shit in here. Well, there you go. Go smile up in Tisha's face. Yeah. Tisha can forget about going through my clothes. All my shit's gone. All my nice shit's fucking gone. Yeah. Yeah. This is pathetic. 9 years this girl's been playing me. And you know, like, I don't get the cops, like they don't really accomplish very much. You know? Doesn't seem that way, people. I mean, Shmay gets murdered in the house, and there's a bunch of shady shit going on with that, with cops. You know, same thing with Sierra. Gets lured off to her death, and a bunch of shady shit goes on with that. And like this shady shit with freaking Rhea. Like, this is some shady shit. And then, like, when I was talking to the cop, you know, I've been talking to you for an hour, and, you know, and blah, because you're talking on the phone, right? Gave her my YouTube channel. I told her if she wanted to see how this bitch went from place to place to place and was raiding boxes and switching shit up and mixing stuff up and taking whole boxes, pulling out fucking bags of fabric from the bed and taking off bags full of bolts of fabric off the wall and, you know, rifling through the furs, and walked off with a $500 freaking extra large cowhide that was like brand new. Like, what the hell? Like, it was in mint condition. Stealing stamps in the hall, and, you know, like, just went fucking nuts. And it makes you wonder how safe we really are, because who would have known? You know? And, like, it's like that girl downstairs. You know, everything could be fine. Sort of. For years, and then all of a sudden, you never know what's coming with that one, because the problem was, at least with Marina downstairs, it was like up in your face. you kind of figured it out what you got, right? In terms of a, I guess you could say, daughter-in-law. And it, you know, I mean, people don't change. No, not really. Well, she sees me as a threat. She sees me as a burden. She sees me as a wedge between her and Marcane, because I'm his mother, and I don't think she wants him to have any feelings for me in terms of a son who loves his mother and quote-unquote respects his mother. She didn't want that. No, because if she did, she would have behaved differently. She would have done things differently, you know? I mean, like when they were fucking outside with the bullshit crap with the city. That wasn't my fault, people. That stuff that sat out in the back, my son piled that crap up. I didn't pile that crap up. I didn't ask him to throw out furniture and do this and do that and break up this and break up that. And like I said, my landlord had a long time to approach me and help me to remove that stuff. She knew I wasn't in no position to deal with it by myself. You know, like, I don't get people. As you know, like, I'm like, okay, what is it with these women? They're worse than hens picking on a injured hen. I'm the injured hen, and the rest of the hens are picking me to death. They think they can steal from me, right? It doesn't matter the dollar amount. Could be a little bit. It could be thousands and thousands and thousands, and it basically boils down to thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars per hen. And do you honestly think they're done if they can do it again? I could feel such like a sitting duck, man. It's a terrible feeling when you don't feel safe in your own house for whatever reason. You know, my landlord is gooning for more rent. I don't have it. She knows it. But that's not the priority. The priority is to keep up with the Punjabis in terms of keep up with the Joneses, right? They're not white people, they're Punjabis. So keep up with the Punjabis. You know, keep up with the Balls, keep up with the Gills, you know, keep up with the Sidhus and those kind of last names. Not the Joneses, that's a Caucasian last name, you know? Right? And just get those bragging rights on, you know? My son said, stop giving me food. I don't want food. I want money. You have any money, Mom? And I'm like, no, I haven't had money for a long time, people. Right? Well, I've never had money. I've been living off my credit cards basically for years. Yeah, as soon as I got credit in 2003, the government cut me off of welfare illegally with 5 dependent kids. And it's been a roller coaster ever since. Because I give him a little hit this and a little of that. He was happy to get the corned beef, but that's not what he wants. Because he wants to buy a place because that girl is putting pressure on him to buy a place. He's talking 4-bedroom, but do you honestly think she wants me living with her in a house? He said, well, the best I can do is a 4-bedroom. And we were looking into subsidized housing for you. Oh. But you do realize I am going blinder and blinder, and I am kind of, codependent. And, well, Andre. Well, yeah, Andre can only do so much, though, especially if I go really blind. Which, since I've been mucking with this shit, I think this girl maybe spread something around, and I've been touching and going like this because my eyes are getting worse and worse real freaking fast. And I wouldn't put it past that bitch. I'm serious. Spreading some sort of, I don't know, because she went into this drawer over here that's half empty again, that had really nice stuff in it. Like a panty thief, like those perverts that go into women's drawers and picking through their panties and, right, and then walk off with the fucking panties. Like, that's how creepy this bitch is. Unless it was her doughboy, because I'm starting to think there was 2 of them in here. Yeah, one was passing to the other, and and just they were working as a team. And then when they started to carry, just boom, 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 piled it up. She didn't want me to see that shit. She creepy. And the cops won't do nothing about it. Nothing. Except they opened a file, but the file's gonna just do nothing. Just sit there, do nothing. It kind of makes you wonder why we have cops. I mean, if it's that easy to go into somebody's house and steal $5,000 or more, which it will be, because I just found a half-empty drawer, so you can tack on another $200-300 or more of shit. Because there was nice shit in there. It appears there still might be a few more nice things in there, but not much. It's more than half empty. So there you go. Tack on another $400. Yeah. You see, I don't think Rhea thought I'd go through this room as fast as I have been. Now, mind you, it's a nightmare. The jars are like completely whacked. I'm starting to think she even took some home canned goods home with her. Unless I find them over there, but, you know, nothing's matching up around here. Oh, it's really pathetic. And I don't fucking feel safe. You know, I knew that girl for 9 years. I didn't do anything for her to do this to me. Absolutely nothing. I babysat her kids. Anytime she wanted, I babysat her fucking kids. I put up with their ways. Whatever. But you know what it does? It brings Marina up to the front. That's what it does, people. Because when she had Marcane out there, that one little video, she was out there helping him. And I said something to her. I wasn't even recording her at the time. I didn't even have my camera. I said, oh, I feel so sorry for you, you know, because it was cold out there. And, like, I know what it's like, right? I've been out there for years. And she never, you know, she wasn't, you know, she didn't have a chance to build up stamina to be out there, never mind working in the cold. So I felt sorry for her because she doesn't like yard work. She doesn't do it. But however, Marcane got her out there helping for that day. And when I seen her out there with her toucan, and, you know, she was doing what she was doing, and I felt really bad for her. And I said that. I said, oh, I know, I feel so bad, right, for you. Oh, don't draw me into it. And she stormed off. That's what I mean. That's what I've been dealing with ever since she fucking moved in, people. And I'm supposed to feel safe? What's the point of my son buying a fucking 4-bedroom? She doesn't want me there. No. And in regards to Andre, whatever. It's just another person to control. Like, she's got my son not spending money because they're saving money for a house, and, you know, she's building a life for them, and he's got to follow the rules, and I'm wondering who wears the fucking pants around here. Obviously not you. You know, you think you do, but obviously you don't, because, like, look at what's happened to your mother. Right? You know, like, whatever. So, maybe I should be thinking about subsidized housing. Or maybe I should just wait until the bitter end of nothing left or whatever. I don't know what the fuck to do. I just know that I don't think I'd ever be safe with them together as in a 4-bedroom house where she'd be constantly resentful because she's already been resentful. And, you know, and if you put it next to Rhea, put them together, it took Rhea 9 years with her two-faced, be nice to me attitude to do what she did, where Marina at least is, she lets me know she doesn't like me. She calls me down. She prevents me from getting my stuff. You know, she's thrown out my shit. She's given my shit away. She's probably sold my shit. You know, she just, whatever. Nothing's changed. Anything, like I say, I don't want to mislead Andre. She'd throw out his stuff just to break his self-esteem so that she could fucking control him after he gets to the point where he just doesn't have no fucking confidence with nothing. These women are masters of manipulation. Why would you throw out Andre's Lego? Because, you see, it's not even she's been throwing out our stuff. So is Marcane. Some of it's Andre's, literally, it's Andre's, and it's been gone. Like, it's just stupid. Could you imagine me living with them? With that kind of animosity? Blind as a bat? I'm scared. Mm-hmm. Like, I really am. Well, my son is oblivious like Tisha. They just ignore it. They don't care. Or they don't want to deal with it. They're cowards to deal with serious shit like that. Before Tisha would deal with the seriousness of what Rhea did, she'd rather just ignore it so she has an excuse not to help me. Yeah. So she can do what she wants. Same thing with Marcaine. Before he would acknowledge what Marina does, however she does it, he won't. He'll justify it so he doesn't have to fucking do anything for me, per se. And anything that he does, he's not doing it because he wants to. He's just doing it because of duty. And she resents that. Because if she didn't resent that, she would have came in with a better attitude. And this is an eye-opening. What I'm trying to say is to have somebody up in your face for 9 years, laughing and smiling and pretending to be your friend or whatever, and then to turn around and be a straight-up freaking demon and do something like this. Well, that girl is capable of anything. And when you're living with somebody that absolutely fucking hates you and conspires with her mother to hurt you, while the mother condones it right along with the son of me, obviously my son condones it, to hurt me, which extends to Andre, no matter how they want to slice it, because just as they're trying to control me and hurt me, they're going to do, well, they do. Sometimes they try and control and hurt him. Take away something that he built that he took pride in. You're too old for Lego. You don't need it. There's not enough space. Get it out of here. It's gone. You didn't even get a chance to say goodbye to it. I took care of it for you. Get over it. Right? What do you think happens to his self-esteem? This is stupid. So I just told my son, I'm not going anywhere right now. And I don't have... Why would I give him money to buy a house where I'm in danger? That doesn't make no sense. And then he'll call me cuckoo for thinking like that, but that's the honest-to-God truth. I didn't bring home no man that ever made you feel uncomfortable in your house. I never brought home no man that ever scared the pants off you, where you felt that you couldn't feel safe because you just didn't know what the fuck was coming.
Nana?
What?
Can I make some noodles?
Yeah.
You okay?
No.
Huh?
No, I'm not okay. No.
What are you saying in the corner like you're mentally depressed right now?
I am.
Are you doing a video?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry then.
It's okay.
I'll just,
Anyway, I got this little corner. It's kind of like taking all day. Only this part in here. Not much. I got a long way to go. Yeah. Long way to go. But I'm working, so I guess that's all that matters at this point. I'm trying to think strategy how to attack these jars where it's quicker to sort them out. Right? So I want to put a few cases out there, even if they're mixed up. And I'm like, I gotta put like anything that's chicken or turkey over there, anything that's pork or whatever over here, anything that's beef or whatever over there, and then try and don't worry about sorting them out in their cases. Just get them in their groups, and then try and figure out what belongs in a case. How many is supposed to be in a case, because this is stupid. This is stupid. But you know what? This is, maybe, I don't know. I don't want to say it, but, it just really shows you what people are capable of. And if you can pretend, we'll just say my friend. I wouldn't say she was my friend, because I'm older than her and I've got kids her age, right? And she's more Tisha's friend, right? You know what I mean? So, but we'll just call her my friend. To be up in my face for all those years, and then turn around and do this without me catching a clue on it. And if I did, I didn't act on it. I gave her the benefit of the doubt. I have a tendency to do that for people. This isn't the first time somebody's walked out of my house with shit. When I should have looked, and I didn't. Because I trusted them. But when you got somebody that's in your house that's full of animosity, and they bring in their family members that have the same amount of animosity, and they actually turn your son against you to have his own animosity against you, whether he had it before she showed up or not, because Marcane's always been a bit moody, especially with Julian Johnson running around screaming with Shimei, and then there was Austin Luck running around screaming with Sierra, and it wasn't always a cakewalk for Marcane in terms of peace and quiet when his sisters were running around with their screaming boyfriends. But besides that point, it's not going to just suddenly be all happy donkey and, all happy and go lucky in 9 years from now. Do you honestly think that things are going to change for the better for me with those people downstairs? Right? Being that they're so in love and on the same page? No. But Rhea sure changed up. And look how she changed up. Like, this is bad. And the cops ain't doing shit about it. And that makes it worse. Yeah. Kind of like when Shimei was murdered. They didn't do nothing. They capitalized off it. Somebody got some kickbacks on that shit. Whatever's going on with Marina and whoever she's in cahoots with, whether it's my son or not, doesn't really matter, because there's more than one person. It's them against me. As the years go by, it's not going to get better. If anything, it's going to get worse. If anything, it's going to get worse, because she's going to resent me. I'm interfering with her marriage. I'm interfering with her happy home, as she's made my home miserable. Basically. But the minute they buy a home, it becomes their home, and then she's going to resent me even more for coming in and invading her home, and she'll blame me for making her miserable in her home, which will make her even more vindictive, which will put me in further danger. So maybe I should be looking at subsidized housing. Just cut my losses. I have no kids. My kids are like either emotionally dead or they're dead. I wouldn't be the first person on the planet to lose all their kids to war. No. And there's different kinds of wars. Right. So that's where I'm at with things. Just a little bit of co-therapy in there. No point in moving in with a woman that hates me. What I did to that woman, I'll never know. I never did a damn thing. She moved into my space and ruined my life. I didn't move into her space and ruin her life. But if I move into her space after my son buys her a fucking house, I'm not allowed to spend no money. I wanted to buy this, but I couldn't because Marina said no. Well, whatever. You can be you can be the bitch then. I don't care. That's your business, not mine. Whatever. Go buy your house. Yeah, she's got you wrapped around your little finger, and you don't think she's not going to try and do that to Andre? But what's the best way of breaking Andre's spirit so that she can wrap him around the finger? Throw out his personal belongings that he built, that he took pride in. Wear down his self-esteem so she can get him down to that bitch point, right? You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. Oh my God. I swear if Shimei was alive, I know I can't wish for that, but if Shimei was alive, oh God. If Shimei was alive, we would have moved out by now. We would have went somewhere. Oh yeah. Something would have happened by now. Or maybe Mark Kane would have moved out and Shimei would be downstairs. I don't know. Okay, so I'm tacking on at least another $400 or more of other clothing items that were in my drawers over there, which are half empty. Alright? Trust me, people, I don't have half empty drawers around here, okay? That's the glitter shit and shit, right? The shiny sequins and just whatever, like girly stuff, really girly, I was a sexy lady when I was young, Not anymore, but I was when I was young. And I had a slim body. So, I had a lot of cute stuff, eh? But, as I'm working in here, it's going slow, but I'm doing. And anyway, I'm like looking at, the jars is what's the hardest. Because they're so mixed up. There was 2 people in my room. She had somebody help her with this, people. Okay? And I'm like, obviously I'm thinking about these jars. One was rooting over here. One was rooting over there. But what was the purpose of mixing up the jars outside of, maybe she took some? I'll figure that out after they're all figured out. Like, after they're all pretty much sorted out. As I go through my playlist, just like I do with the yard, make mental note of that. Well, I can, after my jars are done, all I have to do is write the date, the year, what it is, and get into 2023, because most of them in here are 2023 and 2024. She was even in here and took out a few from in here, right, and scattered them around, okay? And, like, things are so mixed up. What I'm thinking is, one was over here, one was over there. They were rooting through my shit. Obviously, they were looking for certain things. And I think between the 2 of them, they were passing jars around, back and forth, to mix things up, so that it what do you call it? To make it look like maybe somebody else did it, right? Versus her. Right? Like, or they're just fucking tweakers. Okay? I mean, seriously, they're fucking tweakers to one degree or another, but I mean, this was done with malice. And she took the things that she liked. The bolts of fabric, the bangles and the beads, everything dancers, strippers like. Strippers like this stuff, people. Only a stripper would run off with that. Okay? And she makes African... Well, I don't know if she makes African outfits, but she alters African wedding dresses and shit like that. And she just got back from a African freaking fashion show. So she wants to be a little fashion designer and dress things up with beads, and she says, she told me she likes, like, you know, when you're a costume maker, you know, you like shiny shit and bangles and anything to decorate your costumes with or your outfits with. And that's what she went for. She went for the good fabric because I pointed it out to her. I said, wait till we get up in there. That's what I was over here. I said, wait until we get up in there. Boy, she fucking beelined up there now, didn't she? And Tisha's being a real, I don't know. She's choosing somebody else's kids over us. Yep. Why? What's so special about those kids? She told me she wasn't even going to babysit those kids anymore. Because she didn't like babysitting them. Especially the youngest one. Not so much the middle one, but definitely the youngest, because he's so hard to deal with, right? But Rhea convinced her to change her mind. That's why Rhea was starting to bug me all the time. Because Tisha wouldn't babysit. Yeah. But, I don't know, all of a sudden Tisha was babysitting because Rhea was going to go fly off. I don't know if it was Mexico or somewhere in the United States. Yeah, for a holiday. Who gets to go on fucking holiday when you're on welfare? Well, I guess Rhea does. And Tisha was going to babysit for her. But she's choosing her kids over us. Well, she can have those kids. She can babysit them 5 days a week for all I care. But no, Rhea did not do this by herself. Somebody was in here. For the way these jars are so mixed up, one would have had to been over there, and another one would have had to been over there, and they were passing between themselves as they were moving shit to dig into shit as they were bagging. And she knew where the garbage bags were, right? She's a fucking snooper. She fucking snoops on shit. She's a fucked up girl. So anyway, I'm trying not to be upset here, right? It's not easy though. It's extremely hard. Because the reality of, well, we pushed it over the $5,000 mark. I got into my actual dressers. That one's half empty. That top one is fucking half empty. Right? I don't know about the middle one. I can't even remember anymore. Like, it's stupid. Like, it's fucking stupid. So I'm tacking on at least another $400, $500. Because, you know, these are nice stuff that has been taken. And... stupid. So I just wanted to say I do believe there was two people in here going one over there, and just to fuck things over, to throw in more confusion, they were passing jars around. I'm finding jars in the... Nothing is adding up. It's too much mixed up. It was done with intent. I wouldn't be surprised. Well, I'm pretty sure some of the food is missing in terms of the home canned goods. I haven't come across... Now, I still might find it over there, the sockeye salmon that I canned, but this is really, like, I have really good sorting out skills, but this is really hard. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't help when you don't see very well, right? But this is just like way off the hook. Way off the frickin' hook. Okay, so I'm gonna finish this video. I managed to get a hold of Tisha because I phoned Alex and I left a message with Alex that $5,000 was taken by Rhea, and I filed a police report. Right? Anyway, long story short, Tisha called me back. She went to Rhea's house. I told her not to, because I didn't think she'd find anything. Because if you get accused of being a thief with $5,000 and above in terms of what you took, the last thing you're going to do is leave the shit in your place, any close by where somebody can see it or find it. Because she didn't know if the cops were going to come to her house or not. Right? She didn't know. She didn't know if Tisha was going to show up and look around. What would you do if you stole $5,000 worth of stuff and all of a sudden it blew up in your face? Do you think you'd honestly leave it hanging around in your house where it's easy to find, just in case? No, you'd freaking hide it somewhere, or you'd take it somewhere else. Or maybe she already sold it, who knows? Point is, Tisha went to her house. She looked around, whatever, confronted Rhea, and apparently she didn't find anything. Yeah. And now Tisha's accusing Sierra of taking it. Sierra's been dead for 5 years. Accusing Sierra. And that I didn't notice it 5 years ago. Oh my God. I told her. I go in my room every week. I've been organizing it every week. I was at the tail end of where I wanted it, and I just wanted the trunk out. I've been working on getting out the fabric, and I was going to get the trunk out, and then I was going to work on doing clothes after I got the hanging rack up in the playroom. And start removing my clothes. But that's not what happened. What happened is somebody went behind my back when I was sitting here and tore my room apart and mixed up all the freaking jars as a distraction, as they were tweaking, if you want to call that a disability, and took the things that they wanted. They were very specific. I went from spot to spot to spot. I mean, who takes 9 jars of yeast? Unless, of course, you make bread every day. If you make bread every day and you came across a box of yeast way over there on the ground, buried among other boxes, and you happened to open it up because you were looking for something to steal, and it was yeast and a whole whack of it, well, yeah, she took 9 jars of yeast, showed that on a video, threw in 3 cans of ham to cover it up, to make it look like that's the way I packed it when I didn't. As if Sierra would be interested in yeast 5 years ago. Sierra wasn't even coming in my house 5 years ago, people. She wasn't allowed in the house. Never mind sneaking into my bedroom. And if it was some random person in the neighborhood, trust me, there's better things that they could be stealing than yeast. She took the things that she wanted. She wanted fabric. She wanted quality fabric. She knew where it was. I pointed it out to her, and she took it. And she even went as far as to put her hand down, grab a bag, pull it up, and take a whole bag of fabric where there's a big gaping hole on my bed now. She stood up those, what do you call those things? Interfacing to make clothes with. She was rooting around up there. I showed you how easy it was to pull shit down. Right? I stood on the rail, almost broke my neck with that hole. The camera fell down that hole. That hole just didn't magically appear all by itself. Okay? I had a whole mound of fur there, people. I showed you. I can show you again. She was specific to take the one that she liked, thinking I wouldn't notice it. Well, Tisha was saying, you must have had that fur there forever. No, that fur's only been there for a couple of months because I took out the fabric from the back of my bunk bed and I put it in the bedroom, getting ready for Rhea to come and help me sort it out. Yeah, and I pushed the food back in there, and I left the fabric there, the fur there, because it was by the window. I know exactly what I had. It's only been a month and a half since I seen it. Month and a half, no more than 2 months. Okay, it was there. It's not there now. It was rifled through. Alright. She didn't take the cowhide that was black and white. She didn't take that freaking deer skin or whatever the hell that was. She didn't take the sheep skin. She didn't take the little cowhides. She took the extra large quality cowhide at a $500 value. Okay? That's just the bottom line. If it was a fucking crackhead that came in off the street and wandered into my room and decided to steal something, they would have ran off with all of it. They're not going to just take one thing and put everything back, okay? So anyway, teacher said, are you going to keep talking about it? You always need an argument. You're just looking for an argument. Oh, whatever. You can't win for losing, man. Yeah. You can't win for fucking losing. Use your common sense. If she's being accused of stealing and the cops were called, do you honestly think she'd leave that shit lying around in her fucking house? Do you honestly think she'd be hiding it like hiding it in the cupboards at this point? At this point? I knew this hoe long time ago. And she bought herself a little fur coat. And she wanted to hide it from her pimp. And what did she do? She hid it between the mattress and the box spring. That's how she hid the fur coat. Yeah, she put it between the box spring and the mattress so the pimp couldn't see the fur coat. Yeah. I doubt Tisha went through everything that is... Did she look through her laundry basket? Did she look in the laundry room? For all you know, like, she says, oh, whatever. I don't care, people. Like, fucking these girls are stupid. Girls are stupid, man. I'm not even halfway done through my room yet. Okay? It's taking a long time to sort out these jars. But I'm a third done now. And even then, and by the time I'm done sorting out the jars, all I have to do is cross-reference. Okay? All I have to do is cross-reference the dates, the type of product that's in the jar, to see approximately how many jars are supposed to be in a case. Andre, that water's boiling. Now, if everything is there, great. It just got all mixed up. But if there's jars missing, I'll figure it out. And what? Some crackhead off the street snuck themselves into my bedroom and mixed up my jars and walked off with canned goods and yeast and one cowhide? Yeah, no. And a whole bunch of fucking fabric and jewelry and belts, things that this girl liked, right? Those beads that I showed you didn't end up by my front door in a box right there with the freaking sweet potatoes all by themselves. No, 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 no. See, she's got to stop being so gullible. She's got to stop being so gullible. Anyway, I did my civic duty. Okay, I reported it. I have a right to talk about it. It should have happened in my fucking room by some girl that went back in there knowing she wasn't supposed to. She already admitted to going back into my room for no reason other than, what was the reason? Don't even know what the fucking reason was. She just went to help me with what? I told you we were done, right? And she admitted to filling up that box, and you must have had that box in there for, for a year in the hall or someplace like that. Like, give it a freaking break, man. You don't keep a box like that hanging around for a whole bloody year when you put freaking food in boxes like that, for crying out loud. I don't got time for foolishness. I really don't. So, anyway, my dream just told me that, you can think you know somebody for umpteen years and anything is possible. Yeah. So, if they're coming in on a bad foot, chances are they'll always be on a bad foot, even if they're going to be nice to you in the interim. Because if they're coming in on a good foot, buttering you up, working you, and then turn around and blindside you, don't expect the one that freaking comes in on a bad foot to never be on another bad foot and try and hurt you. Because I think that's the lesson here, right? Yeah, women are unstable. A lot of women, not all women, but a lot of women. It's the women that are taking from me. If you notice that, mostly it's the women. I mean, obviously my landlord's son was involved with the take everything from the yard, right? And the shit that was going on downstairs. I mean, obviously my son was involved, but none of that happened until that girl showed up, right? And it was a girl that came into my bedroom just recently and freaking took the things that she wanted. Because I'm really looking at the things that she took, and, like fabric she wanted, she sews with it. She likes the glitter, she likes the jewelry, so she went for the jewelry and the glitter. She opened up my fucking dresser drawers, she emptied out, on this video, I pull it out, and fucking half empty. If it was a fucking tweaker, they would have taken it all, bitch. There's more important things going on in my room than little fancy tops and shit like that. And even if they did want that kind of stuff, like I said, they would have taken everything. They wouldn't have stuck around to fucking mix up fucking jars to be a distraction from what they did. And then you came out here. And you challenged me on, oh, you got a lot of corned beef. How would you know I had a lot of corned beef? How would you know? How would you know unless you were poking around, and you had to poke around quite a bit to find out that information. So, you may have fooled Tisha, but you didn't fool me. Okay? I'm the victim here. You're not the victim. So, she says, well, what you gonna do? I said, well, I'm not ever gonna fucking deal with this bitch again. No. I don't care what you do. Just be careful when you take her out to fucking barbecues, because she disappears. Yeah, that's the thing. She disappears, and she'll wait a long, 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 long time. When you least expect it, that's when she'll strike. And boy, did she strike. Over 5 grand. And that's just the way it is. And counting. I added on another $400 onto that 5 grand. With what's missing in my freaking drawers. Yeah. Because she raided 2 drawers that I can tell. One where all my jewelry was. And then to be accusing Sierra. Sierra's been dead for 5 years. She can go in there. That water is boiling. Andre,
Yeah?
the water is boiling.
Okay. Do you want a small cup, medium cup?
Medium, just a medium cup
Large?
No, just a medium cup.
I'm not tired.
Well, you'll wind down.
I won't.
You will. Well, then do dishes. Start doing some so it's easier for everybody tomorrow. Because I'm not done. I got a long way to go in my room yet. This is hard. Like, really hard. It's hard sorting out jars like this. Right? Now, I don't know. Apparently she did take the Uber. She showed some transaction or something, some e-transfer, but who cares? Could have been anything. Right? And maybe she did. And even if she did, well, she could have had someone come pick up that shit. Easy enough to bury it. Easy enough to put that frickin' cowhide between the mattress and the box spring. Easy enough to take those bolts of fabric and push them up underneath the bed in the kids' room all the way to the back against the wall. That's very easy.
Easy to what?
Easy to hide bolts of fabric that are already in plastic bags. Yeah, it's very fucking easy to hide that shit. Just make some.
Into a bed. You can make it go inside of a bed.
You could hide them underneath mattresses. Yeah, inside. Yeah, beside the bed. You could hide them under the bed, further away to the back. You could hide them in a freaking anywhere.
You can hang on the roof.
No. So anyway, that's it. So I'm not gonna dwell on this. Outside of, as I'm going about my business, if I find more stuff missing, which I might.
You probably will.
I probably will, because I didn't expect to start doing some dishes.
It's
Organize. You can do a little
I
bit.
know, it's just I like doing them in a day.
Doesn't matter. You can do some now. Because I'm going to work tomorrow, okay? And it's hard when he's really active. Okay? Just make him a bottle of milk. That will keep him quiet for a few minutes. Okay? Just what I'm doing is extremely hard. It's sucking up my life. It's sucking up my energy. Yeah.
Okay, well, when I'm done, can I go on the computer and watch some
No.
of my videos on...
No, because it's getting late, Andre. It's extremely late. So let's just keep it in perspective, okay? Argument from argument to argument. So, there you go. And trust me, I got better things to do in my life. I was so looking forward to just getting on with working on the fabrics, trying to figure out how to sell my clothes. You honestly think I want to be doing this shit just so I have something to talk about on freaking YouTube? That's what I'm being accused of now. You just want to argue about something or over with something. Yeah, no. I got better things to fucking do. I told Tisha, you went to her house too fast. She hid the fucking shit. Just to confirm, Sierra's been dead for 5 years. Okay? Over the last year of her life, she really wasn't allowed in the house because I couldn't trust her to not inject things inside her body. And then just, right where I'd have to call 911. It was either just tell her you can't come inside, or have her come inside, and within, like, she'd come inside and I'm going to go use the bathroom. She'd go use the bathroom. I'd wait. Eventually I'd go look, and she'd be on the toilet, and I'd be calling 911 because of OD, right? And I just said, no, I can't, because I'm going to lose Andre if this shit keeps up. So, you know, it wasn't Sierra. And I was just mucking around with those freaking furs a month and a half ago because I cleared off the last part of the bunk bed with the fabric, put the food in behind it. I put the furs by the window so they would be cold because I had them on the bed in the back. And I had everything that I had minus what has been recently taken from my room. So, and if I was a thief and somebody called the cops on me, I'd be hiding this shit. Oh yeah, I'd find some place to hide it. Yeah, even if it meant giving it to my friend for fucking a while, or just take it. I don't want to get caught with it. Whatever. So whatever that girl was thinking, it freaking backfired. But what it did, though, for me, it just showed me a side of human nature that most of us don't think about. And we know sometimes we let our guards down. But then other times, you know, I don't know, people. I'm in a really vulnerable position when it comes to where I'm going to end up after I leave this house. And just in light of what happened, and how fast it happened, and how two-faced the situation is, just like, you know, somebody cannot like you and do things to hurt you, and then have to back off and pretend that they like you when in fact they don't. Chances of them not hurting you anymore is pretty slim, because ultimately they don't like you, right? Whereas with this girl that just did what she did, in my opinion, so much so that I filed a police report with no regrets. Okay? She acted like she liked me. But at the end of the day, it was a flip-flop as soon as the opportunity arose where it became beneficial to her. And I'm looking at the things that she took. She took the things that she wanted. The food, whether in jars, cans, yeast, ham, maple sugar, maple syrups. Okay, 2 jars of raisins in 1-size-gallon jars didn't suddenly magically appear on my floor when Andre and I have been going in and out of that room 3 times a week. Okay? It wasn't Andre that moved all the jars around. Alright? Andre's got better things to do than do that. Can you get him a bottle of milk, please? Because he won't stop. Did you hear me? Andre? Andre,
What?
can you get him a bottle of milk because he won't stop?
Sure, in a second.
Yeah.
You want to finish this, okay?
Well, he won't stop, and that is irritating. And he's getting louder. He has to poo. But yeah, you know, so. And then just 9 years later, up and switch up on you. So, right? How did you know I had a lot of corned beef? Why did you go back into my room when you were not supposed to? Why did you fill up a box that was over a year old that had something else in it that was taken out? And then you filled it up with random things as if you were shopping in a grocery store. You just forgot to leave it behind, or you just put it there in that hole that you created when you took something else out in terms of a whole box, right? Where did my jam go from in a box? I mean, these are things that she would want. Jam, ham, definitely yeast, because she makes bread for her kids every single day. Well, geez, if you come across a whole box of fucking yeast, wouldn't you take yeast if you were on a roll? Of course you would. If you like to sew, wouldn't you go for the freaking fabric? Of course you would, right? Isn't cowhide a form of fabric? Yes, it is. What about the jewelry? If you like to dress up your little outfits with little bangles and, you know, a little bit of glitter, and if you thought you could get into that sequins trim, you would have taken half of that. Oh, for sure, if not all of it, because you just would have went nuts with it, right? Because that's the stuff that she likes. She took the things that she likes. And that's just the bottom line. If it was some random fucking crackhead that crawled itself in somehow into my bedroom and did that, well, they're not going to be as selective, okay? They're not going to go through the whole room and just be selective over certain things because, you know, they take the first things that were available and they'd bolt, right? They're not going to go from spot to spot to spot looking for things that were hidden away for, you know, yeah. So I ain't going to carry on with it outside of, I am going to continue to document anything that I find a gaping hole in, half empty, or I know it's missing. And that's just the way it is, okay? It's my stuff that got robbed, and it didn't get freaking robbed 5 years ago from a dead person.